Hello guys, welcome back to Hardline 4 with the Kaiserreich Total Conversion mod. Starting as the United States of America. And as you probably guessed from the title, we're going to try and play as... well, what the hell are they called again down here? The ones following Huey Long. They're not nationalists, they are something else. I guess I will figure it out once the Civil War happens. Victim to Civil War, right. Yeah, until that, let's see how we're doing. We have Herbert Hoover, rather. Indecisive, political power gained by 3% down and stability up by 5%, right. As the current president, we have volunteers only, free trade, and undisturbed isolation. Ooh. Right, let's see here. 4 research slots to start with, that's nice. We'll just do the normal ones here. You usually start with. We have an army of... Wow. Is that it? Oh, down there as well. Head up here. You're defending the Panama Canal. Is that important? Not really. But that's it. We have 5 divisions. Wow. Wow. Okay. Douglas MacArthur. Right. Whoa. Sure. Henry H. Arnold. Sure. Building. We have like 7 factories out of 173. Alright. And focus trees. This will change depending on who we are going to play in the Civil War. Some of it at least. Over here is that if we keep being the US and actually win, then we can go the democracy route or the military dictator route as MacArthur. Or sorta like dictator, I guess. Anyways, we can do War Department expansion. The United States War Department has seen a shrinkage over the last half-decade through austerity measures. Now it is vital that staffing be expanded and new innovators into the department ready for reform. We gained the national spirit, experience gained up by 10%, and status of the US Army. Well, it's pretty damn pathetic. That much I can tell you. Just get some weapons right now. My neighbor is starting drilling. Not sure if you can hear it or not. That's very annoying. Sure. Do that. And oh, United States in 1936. All right. Kaiserreich is littered with very large events or a lot of texts. In 1936, the United States of America is gripped by unrelenting crisis, although able to avoid the horrors of the Weltkrieg, which allowed its prosperity to continue well into the 1920s. German victory in the Weltkrieg, followed by the French and British revolutions, led to the Wall Street crash of 1925. This sent the United States spiraling into the Great Depression and allowed the Berlin stock market to take its place at the forefront of the world economy. The election of Herbert Hoover in 1928, while initially promising, failed entirely to reverse the decline of the American economy, and by 1936 the country had spent over a decade in the midst of the worst financial crisis it had ever seen. This fueled the rise of radical parties in America, from the far-left Social Party of America to the far-right America First Party. Hoover's contentious re-election by means of the House of Representatives in 1932 and the ongoing Great Depression means that these problems are unlikely to be resolved anytime soon, though many throughout the country feared the upheaval that would result should one of the extreme parties come to power, or should the depression continue unabated. God save America. Yes, save America. Delegation Council. Alright, that's the legation cities over in China. Okay, speed 4. And I guess we're just chilling a bit here. Current fuel. Until the Civil War happens, I think, at least. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever played the United States in this mod, even without recording. Voting rights in Delegation Council. Delegation cities were formed in 1928 as a result of an intervention in the Chile-Fengtian conflict that was soon going to spill out into open war between the two other powers in the Far East, Germany and Japan. While we obviously wished to end the conflict, we also found it in our power to create a lasting solution to the imperial rivalry in China, as well as push our open door policy. So we forced the other powers to merge their concessions in China into one conglomerate. Consisting of all official concessions in China as well as 30-mile neutral zone delegation cities, officially known as the International Mandate for the Chinese Concessions, also host a forum, the Delegation Council, for the various powers with Chinese interest to resolve these disputes and work together. Naturally, we have a vote on this council, and we are often the deciding factor between the Japanese and Germans, with the secondary power mostly playing second fiddle to us. Our voice is usually one that speaks for keeping the status quo of an open door to China for all powers, which helpfully lets everyone benefits without having to involve themselves with individual Chinese factions. To American citizens, delegation cities represents not only a great way to get rich, but a shining example of American forward thinking and a commitment to peace, a perfect arrangement. Get some political power and national spirit, fruits of the open door. Okay, fewer consumer goods. The Great Depression. Oof. That sucks. This sucks as well. Damn. Damn. Alright. The reason I'm trying to read a bit fast with these events is because I do want to read them, but they're also very long, and several of them usually pops up. And by several I mean many. At least when we played with the French Republic last time, we were littered with events that took up a large portion. Not gonna read these though. They are like generic, quotation mark generic, for the world. Mainly the ones focusing on America or the United States. America first, America. Oh, there are two of them. Oh, three of them. Democratic. Socialist. Democratic Party. So we do want to collapse into a civil war so we can play Huey Long. I can't recall what their okay. Status of the US Army. The defense of the United States has always been an uphill battle. Stretched thin against the vast breadth of the North American continent, the United States Army has had little chance to distinguish itself throughout its 160-year history. It won the bare minimum of victories to maintain American independence during the Revolution and the War of 1812. It performed admirably against a corrupt regime in the Mexican-American War, but half of these forces would provide the seats for the fledgling Confederate Army during the ensuing Civil War. More recently, the Army performed barely adequately to subdue the heavily outgunned Spanish and struggled to suppress the half-starved Filipino insurrection more than 30 years ago. Prevented from joining in the Weltkrieg on either side, it has suffered in both doctrine and technology with no tanks at all and a small air corps subsidiary to the ground forces. With the hobbled lion that was the British Empire on the northern frontier and a cynical stronghold poised in the south, the US Army must be tasked to defend the Republic from enemies within and without. And few agree that they are up to the task. They'll have to suffice. Yes. What can we take? Excuse me. What the hell can we take? Oh, there's something over here. Reduce the Ghana bill. Is that it? The Navy. The Navy. Oh, it's the American Union State. That's what they're called, right? Okay, I guess this bill is the only thing really. We introduced the Ghana-Wagner bill. While originally vetoed in 1932, the economic situation in America has deteriorated to the point where unemployment relief efforts are seen as the only way to prevent a widespread collapse. President Hoover has indicated to the Democrats in Congress that this time he will not veto the Garner-Wagner relief bill. Oh, right. Early rate. 56 days, that's an odd number. But alright. The coalition ticket. The 1936 election is looking to be one of the most contentious in American history. Many politicians within the upper circle of the Republican and Democratic parties feared that a victory by the Socialist Party of America or the America First Party would mean the end of America and the American way of life. In order to avoid this, a plan has been proposed within the halls of power to form a coalition ticket between the Republican and Democratic parties with former Labor government Floyd Olson of Minnesota as the presidential candidate. This plan is unlikely to be popular with the low-ranking members of the parties, but it may be the only thing that can prevent the radical parties from gaining strength. So what are we supposed to take here? Are we supposed to take this? I want the Civil War to happen. So maybe? Black Monday hits America. Despite the political turmoil and ineffectual economic relief programs, it seems to many as the economy of the United States might finally be undergoing a slow recovery after the Wall Street crash in 1925. Black Monday has put an end to such hopes and has sounded the death knell for an already ailing economy. Republicans and Democrats have already pledged to fix the economy should they win the election, though public confidence in them is rapidly waning. Both Reid and Long have railed hard against the corrupt banking and political sectors, which they blame for allowing the crash to happen. This is just not our year. Whew. Jesus. Garner-Wagner bill reintroduced. That was fast. With assurances made by President Hoover that unlike in 1932, this time he will not veto the bill, Democratic Senator Robert Wagner and Speaker of the House John Nance Garner have reintroduced their unemployment relief legislation package. Many in Congress feel that the package does not go nearly far enough, while others wonder how America, in the midst of a massive economic crisis, will possibly ever pay for it. The presence of senators from AFP and the SPA also complicates things immensely. Even with Hoover's pledge, it's unknown if Garner-Wagner has a real chance of passing. We shall see. Do I have to do anything? No. Deal with the Great Depression. Depression. Alright. Damn, that's rough. Stop right there, criminal scum. As America spirals ever deeper into chaos, there have been a wave of crime throughout the country. Many of these criminals are getting sensationalists' news stories about their activities, especially gangsters like John Dillinger and the scandalous Bonnie and Clyde. Thankfully, the Bureau of Investigation has been working hard to catch these criminals and bring some order back to America. Of course, the AFP and the SPA have begun attributing these crimes to moral decline and robber barons respectively. Stop right there, criminal scum. Oh. What are you building? Oh. Just do that, I guess. For now. Should I have taken the other one with the bill, like a joint national unity? Yeah. Long and Reid demands changes. As expected, the earlier challenges to the Garner-Wagner bill have come from AFP and the SPA. Huey Long and his AFP senators have demanded a vast increase in the Social Security provisions the bill provides, provisions most other senators say America could never afford. Jack Reid and the SPA, meanwhile, say the bill doesn't do enough to protect the average worker, particularly from exploitation by struggling corporations. Both parties have attracted a lot of media attention, adding to the general sense of disorder and tensions in Congress. That's interesting, I guess. So the national unity thing, right? The middle ground. We do want the Civil War to happen, so... And Queen, okay... Alright, bunch of wars in China. Socialist revolution in Cuba. Oh. The news has arrived from Cuba today. After weeks of instability and despite providing the Cuban military with ample equipment and training, socialist agitators have overthrown the Cuban government. Worse, many American-owned plantations and other enterprises have been taken over by socialist hooligans. Already the staff and Marines at our embassy in Havana are readying themselves to evacuate it at a moment's notice. Anything must be done to stop this madness. Prepare to intervene. Cuba. Huh. Antonio. Research control over Cuba. We cannot sit idly by as American blood is spilled on foreign soil and liberty is extinguished. An embargo has already been declared on Cuban goods, and obviously we must directly undermine the new Cuban government. But how? Give clandestine support to dissidents? Let's do dissidents. Double dip. Do they have their own? Yeah, they do. Okay, interesting. Paramilitary militias forming. With violence and instability sweeping the country, AFP and SPA have begun to form various paramilitary militias, which they claim are necessary to protect the people. The AFP have called their group the Minutemen, while the SPA the Red Guard. Seeing patrolling their strongholds and party rallies, these well-armed and equipped paramilitary units have already engaged in scattered, though extremely violent conflicts. We believe the paramilitaries are modifying civilians' firearms, and the FBI's attempts to seize weapon stockpiles are too slow to stop gun runners. This could turn very bad very fast. This is not good. Oh no. Minus 18. Jesus. Senators break ranks. After weeks of negotiations, a number of established senators have broken ranks over the coming vote on the Garner-Wagner bill. Most notably, Robert Wagner, one of the bill's proposers, who says he will not vote for the bill unless protections for federal unemployment insurance are re-added. Many other Democrat and Republican senators are concerned about the influence of the AFP and the SPA and claim they will not vote for the bill if any concessions are made to either group, though others say they are not courting either AFP or SPA and will make passage difficult if not impossible. President Hoover will need to intervene in order to save the bill. Pledge support to Wagner and the established senators. Force establishments to compromise with the AFP. And how do I make the strongest AFP? If I compromise, I feel like they won't be so mad. I want to make them mad, right? So we'll pledge support to Wagner, I guess. Father Charles Collin, CBS radio broadcasts. 3 years ago, Father Charles began a weekly radio broadcast in America and now has an audience of over 50 million people. He's a raving anti-Semite who claims that the syndicalist revolution in France was fomented by the Jew, and that the Berlin stock market crash is an international conspiracy of Jewish bankers, and somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down his broadcast, so that his hateful message cannot reach the public. Calling his become a danger to the public, shut him down. I hate what he says, but his defenders his right to say it. Shut him down, I think. Yes, let's make them really pissed off. That's what you get when you stomp on people. They get pissed. Okay. Long and Reed furious. Both Huey Long's AFP and Jack Reed's SPF reached with fury at President Hoover's endorsement of established senators. They have vowed to sink the Garner-Wagner bill, claiming that the public is being deceived by a corrupt government which refuses to recognize the reality of America. While the parties have both gained a considerable boost in support from their base, Democratic and Republican fortunes have improved somewhat, and there is a feeling that both have a better chance going into the next election, provided the bill actually passes. Let's hope it does. Oh. The death of someone. Very divided. Divided states of America. More AFP members announcing congressional bids. While there have been a number of lawmakers from the American First Party in its brief life, particularly in the South, the 1936 election represents an unprecedented number of people registering to run for office under the banner of AFP, and just as many, if not more nationwide, pledging to vote for them. Interesting. Okay. Huey Long. Okay. Jack Reed. Oh, maybe on pause. That would help. St. Patrick's Day flood. On March the 16th, I guess 1936, warmer than usual temperatures led to the melting of large amounts of snow and ice on the upper Allegheny and Monongahela rivers. The rivers and the tributaries had already overflowed their banks and were soon threatening the city of Pittsburgh. On March the 17th, 1936, the waters reached the flood stage of 25 feet. Then overnight, heavy rain caused the water to rise even higher, and on March the 18th, the water peaked at about 46 feet, 21 feet above the flood stage. This is the worst disaster in the city's history, and the local authorities have already requested federal aid. We must help these people. Yeah, sure. Who needs political power anyways? Useless. Computing. Okay. So, no, you're still trabajadores. Damn. Oh. Over here. March on Havana. Cuba for the Cubans. Red Nation. My phone is beeping, to cut soon. I usually say that, but then I keep playing. Alright. Let's see what happens. New Pope. And... oh, it did pass. Though the vote was incredibly close, the Garner-Wagner bill has passed Congress. People throughout the United States are celebrating this welcome relief to the country's disastrous economic situation, though many within the government are wondering, how will the bill now be paid for? Victory for us all. Excuse me. So I shouldn't have passed the bill, but was that good or bad? I think it was bad. I actually wanted the bill to fail, I guess. Well, we're still gonna try. The old order prevails. Demand repayment of war debts. Huh. Regional Civil War Department still can't do that. Can do the Navy, that's it. Huh. So I guess I want the bill to fail. The Hawking Plan. A junior Democratic senator has proposed a plan which would see the Garner-Wagner bill funded by increased corporate income taxes. The plan is incontrovertible with some, but it might just give the economy the boosts it needs. Not sure I'm too pleased about this. I want these guys to be small, these guys to be large. Excuse me. 1936 Stanley Cup. Two teams have made it into the 1936 Stanley Cup finals. The Toronto Maple Leafs making their 6th appearance, and the Detroit Red Wings making their 2nd appearance and still hungry to win their first cup. With only a brief interruption at the first game in Detroit, with demonstrators by the Socialist Party of America disrupting proceedings outside the stadium, the series has gone off without a hitch and captivating audiences in both countries. Who will take home the cup this year? Come on, Detroit. Toronto win the Stanley Cup. Boom. Toronto has vanquished Detroit in a 4-game series for the Stanley Cup, bringing the Canadian team their 4th victory in the finals. Once again, the kit line of Charlie Conacher, Harvey Boucher-Jackson, and Joe Primo has brought the Stanley Cup to Toronto. We'll win next year, I guess. I guess. More SPA members announcing congressional bids. While there have been a number of lawmakers from the Socialist Party of America in the past few decades, particularly in the Steel Belt, 1936 election represented an unprecedented number of people registering to run for office under the banner of the SPA, and just as many, if not more, nationwide pledging to vote for them. Special elections in Washington. Following the death of Senator Wesley Lloyd, a special election has been called in Washington to fill his seat. The frontrunners are SPA activist John F. McKay and Democratic Congressman John Main Coffey. Polls have just closed, and the winners appears to be... well, we don't want the Socialist Party to gain power, so we'll do this. Special elections in... how many? Okay. In New Jersey. Following Senator A. Harry Moore's resignation in order to run for governor, a special election has been called in New Jersey to elect his replacement. The frontrunners are Democrat John Gerald Milton and AFP spokesman Charles Lindbergh. Polls have just closed, and the winner appears to be Charles Lindbergh. Right. The old order. Fight the anarchists. Okay, some tech. Concentrated industry, yeah. Synthetic or fuel storage, yeah. Yeah, I think we should have that plan fail. We'll see where this takes us. Might have to restart. Panama pressures Costa Rica. The Panamanians have begun a small-scale military assault on the Coto region of Costa Rica, which they have had a claim on for some time. We should threaten intervention to prevent this turning into a full-scale war. Let's intervene. Costa Rica. Okay. May Day riots. May Day, International Workers' Day. This is a holiday that the Socialist Party celebrates with numerous parades and speeches that has since its founding. Generally, things are peaceful, though there have been confrontations with the police. However, this time things are more violent and more normal. Clashes between the socialists and the local police, backed up by the AFP, have occurred around the country. The question is, who is at fault? The socialists declared that things were peaceful until the police and the AFP goons arrived on the scene. The AFP is saying that the socialists began by assaulting ununionized workers and have blurry photos they claim are guns the SPA were brandishing. The SPA is at fault. The police are at fault. Radical... Oh, both of the... okay. Nominating Quentin Roosevelt. Since the nomination of Governor Olson as the presidential candidate, the political minded have discussed with great interest the likely vice president candidate. Finally putting the rumors to rest, Quentin Roosevelt was announced as the VP for the coalition ticket yesterday in New York City. In his announcement, he emphasized wanting to help bring major reforms to the country through a plan called the Fair Deal. Though this plan was announced by the SPA and the AFP as being nowhere near enough to help the average American, economists believe that it may be enough to end the depression. A deal that is fair and a deal that is square. Alright. A square deal. Panama backs down. After hearing of American support for Costa Rica and not willing to escalate the situation into full-blown conflict, the forces of Panama have begun to back down across the region. This is a victory for American diplomacy abroad. The Monroe Doctrine stands. Sure. I agree. Come on, give me a civil war. Yeah, we have played Argentina before. Argentina, rather. Secure La Pampa. Not an easy game. The Hawken plan. Alright. Junior Democratic Senator Thomas Hawken has introduced a bill which will see the relief efforts largely funded by taxing American corporations in exchange for hefty tax considerations down the line, once the economy has recovered. This has caused considerable controversy in some corners, especially among AFP and SPA supporters. Others say it will be far too easy for the next government to reverse the decision, leaving the corporations holding the bag, and even worse than they were of before. Regardless, there is enough support to see the bill passed, and as an added bonus, the agency to coordinate the efforts could be placed in either Minneapolis or in Charlotte, with the added bonus of new employment weakening what the AFP and SPA strongholds. Base the agency in Minneapolis. America First gains political power. Yeah, we want to do that. The election is when? November. Okay. Still some time to go. Oh. Sweet. The new Industrial Act. Sure. We need to kickstart heavy industry in America's heartland, where the Great Depression has hit the hardest. Yes. Convoys. Like weapons of mass destruction. National Guard Division. Is that Marines? Oh, it is. Marine Panama Canal. What? They have their own little thing? Huh. Not the same. Death of Big Bill Haywood. Today, one of the titans of the industrial workers of the world, William Big Bill Haywood, has passed away. His death marks the passing of a torch. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn spoke at the funeral, saying, "History has a long-range perspective. It ultimately passes stern judgment on tyrants and vindicates that those who fought, suffered, were imprisoned, and died for human freedom, against political oppression and economic slavery." Many other leaders within various union organizations, including his rivals in the AFL, also spoke at his funeral, as well as the leaders within the Socialist Party of America. Jack Reed also spoke at the funeral, ending his speech with some of Haywood's quotes. "If the workers are organized, all they do is to put their hands in their pockets, and they have got the capitalist class whipped. A strike is an incipient revolution. Many large revolutions have grown out of a small strike. Remember that you are fighting more than your own fight. You're fighting for the entire working class, and you must stand together." I already miss him. Just oh, they're locked. Really? Okay, not that one. Do this. This is locked. That's interesting. Why is that locked? It's Panama Canal Guard. Because you're down here? I can't even delete it. Okay. Well, chill there then. That's fine. Well, actually, we'll do this. You're your own little thing. Commando. That seems very fitting. Excavation, sure. Yeah, we'll cut after this focus tree. Focus idea. Focus tree. Focus. This focus. Gamelin marches on Paris. Oh. Is that good or bad? Maurice Gamelin. Oh, it's a coup. Oh. Southern Democrats complain. Although the coalition is showing signs of success, there are already some dissent from the various factions. The loudest voices belong to those of the Southern Democrats, many of whom are much more conservative and are facing stiff competition from the America First Party candidates. The coalition has been largely dominated by Northern Democrats and Republicans, with Farmer Labor being the third wing of the coalition. We could try and force a compromise by proposing to appoint Southern Democrats to the cabinet and other positions of power if we win. Of course, we could also ignore the protest and focus on winning the election instead. Let them complain. Where else will they go? Yeah, let's try and piss them off. I don't know which one is the correct one. Partido something wins. Okay. A great heat wave of 36. A heat wave has struck the continental United States and Canada, the most severe heat wave in the modern history of North America. The great heat wave started in late June and went up to 100 Fahrenheit, 36 Celsius, as drought conditions worsened due to the continued lack of rain. Now in July, the heat has reached all-time records. In Steele, North Dakota, temperatures have reached 121 Fahrenheit, 50 Celsius. Damn! In Ohio, temperatures have reached 110 Fahrenheit, 43 Celsius, which was close to tying a record set high in 1934. This comes in a time of major political unrest, with the America First Council of major force in Midwest politics and socialist and syndicalist forces gathering strength in the Great Lakes region. This drought is continuing, and over 3,000 reported deaths have been linked to it. Many people are suffering from heat strokes and heat exhaustion. Farmers across the continent saw their worst harvest on record, causing corn and wheat prices to skyrocket. And this heat wave does not seem to be giving up anytime soon. This is just not our year. Damn, 50 Celsius. Was it in Dakota? That's around here, right? Yeah, South and North Dakota. St. Paul, Chicago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Buffalo Bill. All right. The new Industrial Act. As an offshoot of the Hawking Plan, relief efforts will now see industrial growth in several vital areas, primarily in the military sector. Several of these new companies are planned for Denver, Colorado, and at least one other area can be promoted. And the cabinet believes that putting them in the depressed areas, which are currently strongholds of AFP and SPA, may see the influence in those areas drastically weakened. Put the town in Iowa. The America First Party gains political power. Would you like that? Iowa. Oh, yeah, right, that's here. Concerning Des Moines. When I ever see the word Des Moines, I think of the South Park episode. Was it Ace of Base or something came from there? Maybe. I don't know. You probably have to Google it to understand what I'm meaning. Shipyard funding scheme. 2 major shipbuilding companies are vying for federal relief funding, and the one we select could mean a large number of new jobs in the region. The trouble is, which one do we focus on? Anyways, we do need to cut, so thank you much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button. Very much appreciate your support, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.